Welcome to Dreamiest Sleep Stories. I'm glad you're here. This is a gentle space where you can slow down, get comfortable, and allow yourself to rest. There's nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to go, and nothing you need to stay awake for. As you listen, you can let the sound of my voice soften your thoughts and guide you towards sleep. If you drift off, that's perfect. If you stay awake for a while, that's perfectly fine too. Make yourself cozy, take a slow, easy breath, and when you're ready, we'll begin tonight's story. Tonight's story is called The Sleeper Train. Take a slow breath in and let it leave gently. There's nothing to chase now, nothing to finish, nothing you must keep hold of. Imagine the day settling beside you, like a coat placed carefully on a chair. You can keep it there for later. For now, you can rest. Feel your inhale arrive, soft and quiet, and feel your exhale glide away, unhurried. In and out, like a calm tide, steady and dependable. Let your forehead smooth as if warm air is passing over it. Allow the muscles around your eyes to loosen, like curtains settling at night. Let your jaw soften and let your tongue rest easily. Notice your shoulders and invite them to drop a fraction, not all at once, just enough to feel space around your neck. Your arms can feel heavier now, supported by whatever they're resting on, with your hands loose and open. Bring gentle attention to your chest and belly, noticing how the breath moves there without effort. With each exhale, let the ribcage relax and let the belly soften. You don't need to hold yourself upright with tension. You can be supported, you can be carried. Let the breath continue at a comfortable pace, and if it naturally slows, that's fine. If it stays the same, that's fine too. Everything is allowed to be easy. Now let your awareness drift down into your hips and legs. Feel the hips supported, the thighs resting, the knees loose. Let the calves soften and feel the ankles settle. Imagine your feet becoming pleasantly heavy, as though they're sinking into a warm surface that welcomes them. From head to toe, your body can take on a quieter shape. Not collapsing, not giving up, simply settling into comfort, like a book placed gently back on a shelf. In your mind, begin to step into a different kind of evening, one designed for calm. Picture a grand European railway station at night, quiet and spacious beneath a high glass canopy. Outside the arched windows, snow falls in slow, patient spirals, each flake lit briefly as it drifts past warm lamps. Inside, the air is comfortable and still. The marble floor reflects amber light in soft, blurred patches, like little pools of warmth. You move through the station at an unhurried pace, guided by soft signs and gentle lighting. There is no crowd pressing in, no rush, no raised voices. The atmosphere feels ceremonial in the most soothing way, as if the world is practicing quiet. Somewhere along the platform, a porter rolls a small luggage trolley with wheels that whisper over stone. You hear it, and then it fades, leaving the station to its calm hush again. At the platform, a luxury sleeper train waits, long and elegant, painted a deep midnight blue that looks almost velvety under the lights. Brass details gleam softly. Door handles trim tiny numbers on each compartment. Frost gathers lightly at the lower edges of the windows, while inside each window there is a warm glow, as if every cabin holds its own small lamp and its own pocket of comfort. You approach the train slowly. The air near the platform is cooler, touched by the outside snow, but the open carriage door spills warmth like a gentle invitation. A A conductor stands nearby in a neat uniform, calm-faced and unhurried, offering a small nod that feels reassuring rather than formal. Nothing about this moment is demanding. It is simply time to step inside, to be carried, to let the night do what it does best. You climb the wide, steady steps into the carriage. The interior is a quiet corridor, lined with walnut panels and soft carpeting that makes footsteps almost silent. Cream-shaded lamps glow at intervals along the wall, turning the air honey-colored. Brass rails are polished and smooth beneath the fingertips. The scent is comforting. Clean linen, warm wood, and a faint trace of tea. Everything suggests care, order, and safety. You find your compartment door and open it with a gentle, effortless motion. Inside is a small world arranged perfectly for rest. There is a velvet bench seat in deep burgundy, a polished wooden table beneath the window, and a silver tea tray waiting as though it has always been meant for you. A thick wool blanket is folded neatly, and the lamp above casts a steady glow that softens every edge and makes the compartment feel warm and contained. You sit down slowly, letting the velvet cushions support you. The seat yields just enough, then holds you comfortably. Outside, snow continues to fall, but the window keeps it at a safe distance, turning the world into a calm painting. The train gives a faint sway, subtle and rhythmic, and you feel it in the way the air seems to move. It's gentle, like being rocked, like being reminded you don't have to create your own steadiness tonight. Now, take a moment for a slow body scan, as if you're settling into the seat from the inside out. Let your head feel supported, with the back of your skull resting comfortably. Let the skin of your face soften again and allow your shoulders to be heavy. Feel the upper arms resting, the forearms loose, the wrists relaxed. Let your hands rest where they are and notice how little effort it takes to simply be here. Bring attention to your chest and belly once more and notice the breath moving in a quiet, even way. Imagine it mixing with the warm air of the compartment, becoming softer with each cycle. Let your back lean into support. Let your hips sink slightly. Let your legs rest, heavy and calm. Feel your feet and imagine them warming inside your shoes, as though the whole train is gently heating the night for you. The engine hum is present beneath the floorboards, not loud, just steady. It feels like a low, dependable purr. Then, without any abruptness, you sense motion gathering. The wheels engage the rails, and a rhythm begins. Click, clack, pause. Click, clack, pause. It's a sound that doesn't ask you to think, only to listen. The compartment sways in a small, regular pattern, and your breath begins to match it almost naturally. Through the window, the station starts to glide away. The lamps on the platform stretch into soft streaks, then disappear. The world outside becomes darker, quieter, and more open. Snow thickens into a steady drift, turning the landscape into a gentle blur. Inside, the lamp remains warm and constant. The silver tea tray catches the light in calm highlights. The train settles into its glide, and the rhythm of the track continues. Click, clack, pause, click, clack, pause. You reach for the teacup on the tray and wrap your hands around it. The porcelain is warm, and the heat seeps into your palms in a slow, comforting way. Steam rises faintly, carrying a soft scent, like chamomile or mint. You take a small sip, and the warmth travels down into your chest. With that warmth comes a deeper sense of safety, as though the body recognizes a familiar signal. You are sheltered, you are cared for, you are allowed to rest. Outside the window, snow-covered fields drift past like a quiet dream. Occasional trees appear and fade, their branches dusted white. Sometimes, far away, a single window light flickers from a cottage, then disappears behind the moving darkness. Nothing outside is sharp or startling. It all moves in soft transitions. The train is smooth. The compartment is steady. The lamp is warm. The track rhythm continues, reliable and soothing beneath everything. You notice the gentle luxury of small details. The brass latch on the window frame is polished and cool. The curtain tiebacks are neatly looped. The wood grain on the table looks like slow waves frozen in place. There is a small glass vase on a shelf with a single sprig of greenery, as though someone wanted even the simplest life to be present. These quiet details help the mind settle because everything looks finished, tidy, and at ease. The carriage sway becomes familiar, like a rocking chair that never needs pushing. Back and forth, back and forth. A motion so subtle it feels like breathing. The rails continue their pattern. Click, clack, pause. Click, clack, pause. You allow your eyelids to soften for a moment, not fully closing yet, just resting. The sound continues even when you're not looking. The movement continues even when you're not thinking. The train carries you either way. A soft knock comes from somewhere in the corridor, perhaps the gentle closing of a distant compartment door. Then the quiet returns. The train's interior remains hushed, as though everyone has agreed to be kind to the night. You imagine other cabins, each with a lamp glowing, each with someone settling under a blanket, each with a cup of tea cooling slowly. There's comfort in knowing you're not alone, yet you don't have to interact. You can simply be. You lift the wool blanket and drape it across your lap. It has a pleasant weight, grounding and warm. The fibers feel soft against your clothing, and the warmth begins to build slowly, like embers brightening in a fireplace. As you settle the blanket, the compartment feels even more like a cocoon. The snow outside looks farther away. The lamp looks gentler. The track rhythm becomes even more soothing, as if it's now playing through the blanket too. The train begins to move in gentle cycles, the kind your mind can follow without effort. Warm lamplight, soft and steady. Snow drifting past the window, white and quiet. The tea's warmth in your hands, slow and soothing. The train sway, back and forth, back and forth. The track rhythm, click-clack, pause, click-clack, pause. Then back to the lamplight again, and the snow again, and the warmth again, and the steady movement again. You glance at the small control panel beside the lamp and turn the light slightly lower. The glow becomes softer, more intimate, like evening settling deeper into itself. The brass fittings still gleam, but more gently now. The shadows in the corners of the compartment are not dark in a worrying way, only calm. They make the space feel tucked in. Outside, the snow continues to drift, and the window becomes a quiet theatre of white motion. Your breathing is slower now, and it continues to match the rhythms around you. Inhale, and the carriage sways one way. Exhale, and it sways the other. Inhale, and the rails offer their quiet pattern. Exhale, and the warmth in your chest spreads. You don't have to force the alignment. It happens naturally when the body feels safe. You are being carried by a system designed for gentle motion and predictable sound. On the table, you notice a small menu card with elegant lettering. It offers midnight tea, warm broth, and buttery biscuits. Nothing heavy, nothing stimulating, only comfort. Beside it, is a small bell, not for urgency, just for quiet requests. You don't need to ring it. Simply knowing it exists is enough. The train anticipates needs without demanding them, and that sense of being looked after lets your mind loosen its grip. You open the compartment window curtain a fraction more, just enough to watch the snow. The landscape outside is a long, soft blur of whites and blues. Occasionally, the train passes through a section of pine forest, and the trees appear like dark silhouettes wearing pale shawls of snow. As they pass, they don't rush. They drift by in an unbroken line, steady and calm, as if the world is slowly turning pages. The idea of pages makes you think of the little book placed on the shelf in your compartment, a slim volume with a cloth cover, something like a travel journal of quiet routes. You pick it up and open it. The pages are creamy, the text spaced generously, easy on the eyes. You read a paragraph about snowfields and lamplight, about trains that glide rather than hurry. The words feel like they belong to the night, and you don't need to remember them for them to work. After a few moments, you close the book and rest your hand on its cover. It's enough to touch it, enough to know it's there. You return your attention to the sounds. The rails keep their steady pattern. Click-clack, pause, click-clack, pause. The carriage sways, back and forth, back and forth. The lamp glows steadily. The snow falls steadily. The combination is like a lullaby made of mechanics and weather. Both of them gentle, both of them dependable. You imagine the train's route as a ribbon laid across sleeping countryside. It passes quiet villages, frozen rivers, and open fields where the snow is untouched. The train does not disturb the landscape. It only glides through it, leaving the night as calm as it found it. That thought is soothing, because it suggests a kind of travel that doesn't create disruption. You can move without effort, progress without strain, arrive without anxiety. A little later, a soft tap at your compartment door arrives, followed by the gentle opening of a hatch. A tray is placed quietly inside, a small plate of biscuits and a fresh pot of tea. No one speaks loudly. No one lingers. The service is silent and careful, like the train itself. You smile softly, and the feeling of being cared for deepens. You pour tea slowly, watching the warm color fill the cup, and you inhale the gentle steam. The tea's warmth returns to your hands, and the sweetness of a biscuit is mild and comforting. You take one bite, slowly, and let it dissolve. There is no need to hurry through anything on this train. Even chewing can be unhurried. Even swallowing can be gentle. The carriage continues its steady sway, and the track rhythm continues beneath it. Your body receives the message in every direction. Slow is safe. Steady is safe. Soft is safe. As you sit, you notice the comfort of the compartment's quiet temperature. Not too warm, not too cool. The air feels clean and lightly scented with wood. Your cheeks feel relaxed. Your eyes feel heavy in the best way. The corners of your mouth soften. The muscles around your shoulders let go another fraction. The blanket feels heavier now, not because it changed, but because you have relaxed into it, allowing gravity to become a comfort. Outside, the train passes a small station in the countryside. You see a few lamps glowing, a platform dusted with snow, and then it slides away again. There is no loud stop, no abrupt change. The train keeps its gentle pace. The station becomes a brief painting in your window, then fades into night. The briefness is comforting because nothing holds your attention too tightly. Everything arrives softly and leaves softly, like the breath. You let your gaze drift to the brass fittings again, catching the lamp's glow. There is something calming about brass, about its warm shine and steady presence. It looks like something that has lasted a long time, something built to endure without rushing. The train is full of that feeling, enduring comfort. You imagine generations of travelers finding rest in these same gentle rhythms, letting the click-clack of rails and the sway of carriages guide them into sleep. Your eyelids close for a moment, and when they open again, you feel slightly deeper in the chair. The boundary between waking and drifting becomes softer. The sound of the rails becomes like a metronome for sleep. Click-clack, pause, click-clack, pause, steady enough that your thoughts stop trying to organize themselves. The sway continues, back and forth, like the simplest cradle. The snow outside continues, quiet and unbroken, like a promise. You decide to prepare the bed in the compartment, slowly, as another gentle task. You stand carefully and pull down the upper berth with a smooth motion. The bedding is already arranged, crisp white sheets, a thick duvet, and pillows that look cloud-soft. You smooth the duvet once, then again, enjoying the simple repetition. Smooth and settle, smooth and settle. A tiny ritual that tells the body, sleep is welcome here. You sit on the edge of the berth and remove your shoes, placing them neatly beneath the bench. You loosen your clothing in small ways. A button, a collar, a belt, nothing dramatic, just comfort. You wash your hands with warm water from the small basin, drying them on a soft towel. The small acts feel grounding. Each one is slow and unhurried. Each one makes the night simpler. You climb into bed and let the mattress support you. Now you are lying down and the train continues to move. The rhythm is still there. Click-clack, pause, click-clack, pause. But from the bed, it feels even more comforting, like sound cushioning you from below. The sway is still there too, back and forth, gentle enough to blur the edges of thought. The lamp is dimmed low. Snow passes beyond the curtain's edge. The duvet is warm and pleasantly heavy. Take a slow breath in and feel your body settling deeper into the mattress. Take a slow breath out and feel your muscles releasing. Your shoulders soften. Your arms rest easily at your sides. Your hands loosen. Your legs relax beneath the duvet. If any thoughts appear, imagine them as distant lights in the landscape, seen briefly through the window, then fading. The train keeps going. The night keeps going. You don't have to follow those lights. You imagine the train traveling through open fields where snow lies smooth and untouched. You imagine frozen lakes reflecting the moon faintly beneath the cloud. You imagine pine forests standing quietly, their branches holding white. None of these images ask anything from you. They are simply there, like paintings moving slowly past. The train is a gentle gallery of winter calm, and your bed is the soft seat from which you watch, even if your eyes are closed. Somewhere down the corridor, you hear the faintest sound of another door closing softly, followed by quiet again. It's a reminder that the whole train is settling into sleep together, carriage by carriage, lamp by lamp, duvet by duvet. The world outside remains cold and snowy, but inside everything is warm. You are protected by wood and brass, by design and routine, by a machine that knows how to move steadily through the night. Your breathing continues, slow and even. The pause after your exhale feels longer now, like floating. You don't need to hurry into the next inhale. It arrives when it's ready, just like the train arrives at each stretch of track without strain. You are being carried. The rails continue their patient song. The carriage sways. The duvet holds you. Snow drifts outside. Lamplight glows low. Everything repeats, and repetition is the comfort. If you are still awake, that's fine. You can rest while awake. You can let your mind drift without fully sleeping. The train does not require sleep. It only offers it. The night does not require anything either. It only holds you. You listen to the rails. Click, clack, pause, click, clack, pause. You feel the sway. Back and forth, back and forth. You feel the duvet's weight and warmth. You watch the snow in your imagination. Now the images soften further, becoming simpler. Not a whole landscape, just the idea of white drifting past. Not a whole station, just a warm lamp. Not a whole corridor, just a hush. Not a whole journey, just a steady rhythm beneath you. Click-clack, pause, click-clack, pause. Back and forth, in and out, in and out. Each cycle like a small wave, carrying you closer to deep rest. The sleeper train continues through the snowy night with quiet confidence. It glides, it sways, it hums, it holds. The lamp remains low and kind. The duvet remains warm. The rails remain steady. The snow remains soft. And you remain safe, supported, and free to drift. With each breath, your thoughts become lighter. With each sway, your body becomes heavier. With each click-clack, your mind quiets further, easing gently towards sleep. The rhythm beneath you continues without interruption, the rails offering their steady pattern. Click-clack, pause, click-clack, pause, like a soft metronome guiding the night. The carriage sways gently in response, back and forth, a movement so subtle it feels like breathing, made physical. You notice how your body no longer resists the motion. Instead, it yields to it, allowing the mattress to cradle you more fully with each quiet mile. The warmth of the duvet settles deeper around your legs and hips, and your shoulders sink into the pillow with an ease that feels earned and natural. The air in the compartment remains perfectly balanced, neither too warm nor too cool, just comfortable enough to make stillness inviting. Outside the window, snow continues its soft descent, and even though you cannot see every flake, you can imagine their quiet drift through lamplight. Your mind drifts back to the corridor you walked through earlier, with its polished walnut panels and cream-shaded lamps glowing in steady intervals. You imagine those lamps now, glowing gently behind closed doors, each compartment holding its own small world of rest. There is comfort in knowing that the entire train has chosen calm tonight. No voices rise. No footsteps hurry. Everything moves at the same measured pace. The train passes through a stretch of forest, and though you cannot see it clearly, you sense the presence of tall pines standing quietly beneath layers of snow. The idea of those trees feels grounding, their trunks steady and vertical, their branches bowed slightly with white. The train does not disturb them. It glides alongside, respectful and smooth, its wheels keeping their gentle rhythm. Click, clack, pause, click, clack, pause. Your breathing follows that pattern now without effort. Inhale, soft and slow. Exhale, longer and quieter. There is space between breaths, a small pause that feels safe, like floating for a moment before settling again. The carriage sway mirrors that pause, back and forth, as if the train itself understands the shape of rest. You feel carried by something larger than thought, something mechanical yet kind. In the distance, perhaps miles away, you imagine a frozen river reflecting a pale moon behind cloud. The river is still beneath its icy surface, unmoving and patient. The train crosses it smoothly, the rails firm and dependable. You do not hear anything dramatic, only the same steady pattern beneath you, unchanged and reassuring. That consistency is a comfort. Nothing surprises you here. Nothing asks you to be alert. The duvet feels slightly heavier now, or perhaps you have relaxed more deeply into it. Your arms rest at your sides or loosely folded, and your fingers no longer feel the need to adjust anything. Even your jaw has softened completely, your teeth parted slightly in natural rest. If a thought appears, it passes like a cottage light glimpsed briefly through the window, glowing for a moment, then fading into snow-soft darkness. The compartment's lamp remains low, casting a dim golden glow that barely touches the edges of the ceiling. Shadows gather in the corners, but they are not dark in any troubling way. They are simply gentle, like the deepening of evening. The wood panels seem warmer in this light, and the brass fittings glint softly, their shine subdued and calm. Everything looks settled, as if the train itself is growing sleepy. You feel the mattress beneath you, steady and supportive, and you notice how little effort it takes to remain here. You do not have to hold your body in place. You do not have to maintain any posture. The train moves. The rails sing their quiet pattern. The carriage sways, and you rest within that movement, supported from beneath and surrounded by warmth. Outside, the snowfall thickens for a time, turning the world into a near-white blur. Then it thins again, revealing faint outlines of distant hills or clustered rooftops. The changes are subtle and slow, nothing abrupt. You imagine the snowflakes landing gently on fields, on tree branches, on silent tracks behind the train. Each flake arrives softly and joins the whole without noise or drama. Your breath deepens slightly as you settle further. The pause after each exhale grows a little longer, like the train gliding through an especially smooth stretch of rail. The click-clack remains, steady and measured, and the sway continues in its small arc. Back and forth, back and forth. The repetition is not dull. It is comforting. It gives your mind something simple to follow, something predictable and kind. You imagine the train entering a long valley where mountains rise gently on either side, their slopes coated in snow. The sky above is dark but not heavy, and a faint glow rests behind cloud like hidden moonlight. The train moves through this landscape without effort, its carriages linked in quiet harmony. Inside, each passenger drifts closer to sleep, carried by the same rhythm, warmed by the same glow. The warmth in your chest from earlier tea lingers faintly, a soft memory of comfort. Even though the cup now rests empty on the small table, the sensation remains. It feels like a gentle ember inside you, steady and calm. You do not need more tea. You do not need more warmth. Everything you need is already present. The duvet's weight, the mattress's support, the train's rhythm, the snow's quiet. Your eyelids grow heavier, and when they close fully, the sounds become even clearer. The rails offer their patient song. Click, clack, pause. Click, clack, pause. If your mind wanders briefly, it does so without urgency. Perhaps you imagine the conductor walking quietly down the corridor, checking lamps, ensuring everything is peaceful. Perhaps you imagine the engines at the front, its steady power guiding the train forward through miles of calm night. These images are not sharp. They are soft impressions, like brushstrokes on a canvas, easily fading back into rhythm. The train continues its journey without any need for your attention. It does not require you to navigate or decide. It knows its route. It trusts the rails. And you can trust it too. You can trust the duvet to hold you, the mattress to support you, the rhythms to continue. There is nothing you need to manage here. You are a passenger in the gentlest sense, carried forward without effort. Your breathing slows another fraction, and the pause between breaths feels almost suspended, like a quiet moment between one station and the next. There is no tension in that pause, only stillness. Then the inhale arrives naturally, filling your lungs softly, and the cycle continues. In and out. Click, clack. Pause. Back and forth. Back and forth. Snow drifting, light glowing. The same elements returning kindly. The landscape outside becomes less detailed in your imagination now, reduced to a simple field of white and shadow. The trees blur into dark lines. The hills softens into gentle shapes. The sky fades into a uniform hush. There is nothing specific to focus on, only the sense of being enclosed within a warm carriage moving through cold air. That contrast, warm inside and cool outside, deepens your feeling of safety. You shift slightly under the duvet, finding an even more comfortable position, and then becomes still again. The mattress seems to adjust with you, holding your shape. The pillow supports your head without pushing. Your neck feels free of strain. Your shoulders rest flat and loose. Your arms feel heavy and quiet. Your legs are warm and settled. Your feet no longer seek movement. The whole body recognizes this as rest. The click-clack of the rails is softer now in your awareness, not because it has changed, but because your mind is less alert. It blends with the hum of the engine and the faint hush of air moving through the carriage. Together they form a steady background, like a lullaby made of machinery and winter. It is a lullaby that does not end, one that continues whether you are listening closely or drifting away. The sway becomes almost imperceptible, yet you still sense it, back and forth, like the slow rocking of a cradle. Each movement is tiny, but together they create a feeling of being soothed. You do not need to count the motions. You do not need to follow them deliberately. They happen beneath you, steady and faithful, like a promise kept mile after mile. Snow continues to fall beyond the window, though in your drifting state, it becomes less a visual image and more a feeling. A sense of softness outside, of sound absorbed and muted. The world beyond the train is wrapped in white silence, and inside the carriage that silence translates into calm. No harsh sounds reach you. No sharp edges disturb you. Only steady motion and gentle warmth remain. If you were to open your eyes, you would see the lamp glowing dimly and the brass fittings catching faint light. But you do not need to open them. The image is enough. The lamp glows, the brass glints, the wood panels rest. The corridor beyond remains quiet. Everything holds its place without effort. You can let your eyelids remain closed, trusting the scene to continue as it is. Your breath now is so soft that it almost disappears into the rhythm of the train. Inhale, quiet and smooth. Exhale, longer and looser. Pause, safe and still. The rails keep their gentle pattern. Click, clack, pause, click, clack, pause. The carriage sways, back and forth, The duvet holds, the mattress supports, snow drifts, the night stretches calmly ahead. There is no arrival to anticipate, no station you must prepare for. The journey itself is the purpose, and it is unhurried. You are not moving toward anything urgent. You are simply being carried through a landscape of white and silence, wrapped in warmth and steadiness. The train does not rush the night. It glides through it, and you glide with it, free to drift deeper into rest. If you are already drifting towards sleep, that is perfect. If you are still aware of the words, that is also perfect. You do not need to choose. The train continues either way. It carries you with patience and quiet confidence. The rails continue their soft song. The carriage continues its rocking. The snow continues its fall. The warmth continues to surround you. With each passing moment, your body feels heavier and your mind lighter. The edges of thought blur like snowy fields beyond the window. The rhythm beneath you remains unchanged, steady as ever. Click, clack, pause, click, clack, pause, back and forth, in and out, in and out. The three patterns align gently, forming a calm circle that repeats and repeats. The sleeper train moves onward through the night, wrapped in snow and silence. Inside your compartment, the lamp glows low, the duvet rests warm, and your breathing is slow and even. There is nothing to adjust, nothing to improve. Everything is already in place. You are safe. You are carried. You are allowed to drift fully now as the train glides steadily through the snowy darkness toward morning.